Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the most prestigious evening in podcasts. It is our season finale, the fourth annual of the Cinema Effect Awards, proudly presented by Zencaster. I'm Zach, and I'm joined by Disney's number one hater, Jaden.
G'day.
G'day. Good evening.
Changed up to the prime time slot.
100%. We're right there. When I listened to last year's episode, we sort of joked around, said, let's pretend it's nighttime, but it's like 10 o'clock in the morning. But now it actually is nighttime. Feels a bit more appropriate. Full circle. Exactly. And we've got our resident Irish citizen, a.k.a. JC, a.k.a. Fitzy, a.k.a. Liam.
Very happy to be here on this prestigious night.
As you should be. Absolutely.
We should invite a peanut gallery next year.
A what?
An audience. Just spooky and
handy. Like a digital, like they just watched live? I guess we could do that.
A few claps in here and there, you know.
But then, yeah.
We just need a way to suppress them from speaking during the show.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say, because they can't. The awards are banned from guests. You know, no one can come and interrupt these. No. These are our thing. The three OGs only have say in the awards. Anyway, it's this time of the year again. I can't believe it. Can you guys believe it? Honestly, like this is our fourth one of these, and we're doing it again. I can't.
No. Shit sneaks up on you.
It really does. It's crazy. Well, for the uninitiated, this is Cinema Effect, the podcast where we would normally review and talk about a different movie every single Monday, but tonight we're here to celebrate the year of our Lord 2023 for cinema and Cinema Effect. So let's do it. Stick around later in the episode where we will give out many awards to the selection of films we reviewed this year on the show. But before all of that, we need to talk about the very best content that released in 2023. Our first segment of the evening, as usual, as tradition dictates, we'll be going over our top 5 movies of 2023. As usual, always worth saying a couple things here. This is a so far, we're in Australia, we get shit late, lots of stuff comes out in bloody January and whatever, so we haven't seen everything we want to see probably, but doing the best we can with what we have. Top 5 movies of the year, individual lists. We'll go around in a circle, each giving our number 5, each giving our number 4, so on and so forth. There's a point system as well in doing that, so I'll give my... Calculated live. That was... It always calculated live really poorly by me, because I'm like, I think June 1, and then you'll go, no. And I'll go, oh, right.
Let me break up the notepad now, just in the ready. I'll keep
That's honestly a great idea. Thank you, Jaden. That's a great idea. So the way the points are meant to work is that for every single one of us, when our 5th place movie is named, that movie earns 1 point. The 4th place earns 2 points, so on and so forth. First place wins 5 points for all of us individually. Then you can, of course, add together these points and come up with a definitive list, which Jane will attempt to do on the fly with his notepads right now, which is great. That's really
like a
handy.
huge supercomputer I am. Adding 2 + 5 + 1. 8.
Nice. That's fantastic. That's way beyond anything I could do while hosting this show. So you are very much needed. I'm the host. I'm paid to host. That's why I've got my tie on, and you're like the little mathematician man in the corner. You're like
analyst.
Yeah.
The analyst.
Strange.
Exactly. The little analyst man over there who also, has his own list as well. So yes, that is how that works. We've each got our top 5s. I guess we can just kick it right off. Why the hell not? And I actually know this time. I got confused last time. But I know for a fact we go in intro order. So therefore, Jaden, it is your time. What was your 5th choice, 5th favourite movie of 2023? Also, I don't know if you had honourable mentions. That's always another thing where we just sort of make it up on the spot.
Yeah, you see, I think I will go with honourable mentions because to me, this was more of a top 7 than a top 5 where... 6 and 7 could have easily slipped in, had they wanted to. So I'll give a quick shout out to No One Will Save You, which I watched this week in preparation for the awards, and also a quick shout out to John Wick number 4, banging film. But my number 5, it goes to little animated film that we reviewed on the show this year, and that was Across the Spider-Verse. In number 5 for me.
Okay.
Incredible film. Absolutely loved it when we saw it. You weren't actually here for the episode, which made it all that better.
I agree.
Just banging vocals, banging animation. It might even come up again in the Cinema Effect Awards, perhaps.
Maybe later in this top 5. No spoilers.
Oh,
No,
but it was crazy how much this film affected me, and it really edges into that 5th spot over the other two just because of how much it does play on my mind.
Yeah. Okay. Obviously, a great selection. I'm curious. Wow. I'm honestly a bit surprised it's so low for you, Jaden.
Yeah.
I'm out here with number 5, which has gotten me thinking, man, you must have watched some killer movies this year, because that was a killer movie. No doubt about it. Killer movie. Now, someone who definitely does not have Spider-Verse on their list, it's Liam's time for his top 5.
Didn't quite make the cut. Yeah, I'll give some honorable mentions because I also have 2 that were pretty close. One of them was 5th for it was 5th on my private list for most of the year, but I decided to replace it with my actual 5th just because it was so good. But the 2 are Monster, which was a Japanese film I saw with Andy, with a very good script, won best screenplay at Cannes.
Oh. Okay.
So yeah, that was a good movie. And May December is also a big honorable mention. It has the best scene of the year for me, which is this rooftop scene between this dad and his kid, and the dad's trying weed for the first time, and it's very disturbing dynamic given the kind of what the movie's about. But yeah, that movie's got some powerhouse performances. Natalie Portman, Julianne Moore, Charlie Heston's really fucking fantastic. So I felt obliged to put this film anyway because I saw it twice in the cinemas, and it was a big film for the year, and definitely one of Nolan's. There's a hint for you guys. Definitely one of Nolan's. Top films for me. So it goes to Oppenheimer. Oppenshitter. This also might come back in the top 5 in the other categories for me. But what is there to say about Oppie? It's just a fantastic, technical achievement and stuff. So we already talked about it. So but yeah. Number 5, Oppenheimer.
Nice. Put it on the board, Jaden. Put it there. He's done it. Well done.
Good job.
Not sure if I spelled it right, but we'll go with it.
It goes.
So, yeah, how many P's and N's? I don't know.
How many T's? Shitter?
Is it hyphenated?
Exactly.
Or?
Okay. Excellent. Honorable mention for me quickly is definitely going to be Missing, which was a great watch. Really, really enjoyed it. I wrote in about it when I was in the US earlier this year. Is it come out here yet? Is it on a streamer here?
Yeah, I watched it on Prime. That's on Prime.
Good. Gotcha. Yeah, cool. So that was a fun watch. So yeah, that felt right as an honorable mention. For me, without spoiling the list, my number 5 spot, I think I felt what you guys were feeling. My number 5 spot, it was a fight for that spot. My top 3 were pretty clear. Then yeah, it was sort of in the bottom section. My top 10 is going to be hard because it's going to be all that bottom section is going to be a bit of a shit fight, I think. But so many great movies this year. But I have to give my number 5 very quickly to The Last Kingdom, Seven Kings Must Die, which was the series finale sort of movie ending that they did for that show. And it was a great movie. Really, really, really enjoyed it. Emotional movie. Classic Last Kingdom. Getting back with the characters. Great performances. Love the production design. Love the music, dude. I've rocked that music in some of my playlists now. Just love it. It's very meditative music. So yeah, great movie. Crazy pace. I think I mentioned in the highlights, just crazy pacing because it's like a whole friggin' 10-hour season in 2 hours, So that's it's objectively crazy pace, probably an issue, but didn't take away my enjoyment. So that's why it is my 5th movie of 2023. Something tells me, Jan, you don't need to worry too much about that on the scoreboard.
Yeah, I feel like that might be bottom tier of this ranking.
Might be staying firmly in the 15th position there.
Mm.
Okay, probably going to stick there. What about number 4? Jaden, back to you.
Number 4 for me. This actually surprised me. There was some big movement this week, and I had to make some tough choices. And that's why we ended up with the honorable mentions that we did. And I actually talked about this in my highlights a few weeks ago because I didn't think it would make it, but it has now jumped up to number 4, and that is because of just how fear-inducing and how tense it has been. It was for me. It's the best, easily the best horror experience I've had this year, and that goes to Hell House LLC, Carmichael Manor, the newest in the Hell House series. Just really fantastic.
Gotcha. This is one you spoke about in highlights a few weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
And it's the found footage.
Yep.
Gotcha. Loud and clear. All right. Coming in there with 2 points. I'm not even going to try. Wait, what the hell is it called again? Please try and.
Hell House LLC, Carmichael Manor.
Thank you for that, Jaden. Thank you.
Yeah.
What a terrible.
I'm sure
title.
that's got some big movers as well coming up.
Sure, absolutely. Fitzy, number 4.
My number 4 is a movie that I thought was very, very funny. It was a pure comedy, and that was Theatre Camp, about a bunch of theatre kids and their antics. A very wholesome. I don't really like using that word, but wholesome film about a community and trying to put on a good show. And the movie itself was a good show because it was really just hilarious. I found everything in the film funny. As I said, it's pretty much it's got its dramatic elements, but it's very much a pure comedy. So it relies on you being on the level with that humor, being on the level of that humor. So yeah, Theatre Camp was a great time, and it's my 4th best film of 2023.
Any particular jokes stand out to you?
Oh, I liked everything with the American Vandal kid. Especially when him and the rep girl were together. She's in like a lot of skits kind of content. Yeah, he was hilarious in the film, and I liked
when the kid came out as straight to his parents at the end.
Oh yeah. That was good.
That sounds really funny to me. I haven't seen it yet. Okay, excellent. Number 4. My number 4. Sorry to be slightly obnoxious with my 4 and 5. To be honest, I do recognise that a little bit. But
wow,
my number 4 goes to a documentary I watched a few months back, and it is called "The Deepest Breath." This is on Netflix, and it's about basically the world of freediving and highly competitive freediving. Where like people like try and dive the distances in a single breath, which is an extreme sport. And basically, it sort of follows one of the top up and comers in the sport, and then basically the person who ends up becoming her partner. No, not really a spoiler. Sort of parallel. It has sort of 2 storylines going on simultaneously that sort of converge. And I just thought it was a really well put together documentary. Really all in its structure. Like, really interesting story. First of all, not knowing anything about the world, I enjoyed learning about it, enjoyed learning about these people and about what motivates them to do it, that kind of thing. But then structurally, the choice to have the 2 main characters have their stories sort of run parallel, it's sort of, at first it's sort of a bit abrupt because they cut back and forth like every 2 minutes between them, like sort of just a hard stop and start. Like, we're talking about female, we're talking about Alessia is her name, we're talking about her, and then we're talking about the dude, and then back and forth. Sort of just like you're picking right off from where you left off 2 minutes ago with the previous person. So it's kind of, that was a bit of an interesting getting into that. But once I got into it, I saw it, and then when it builds to the end, no spoilers, but dude, like the editing and the tension at the end is some of the best I've seen in a documentary, and in a real world sort of event and depicting that. So really, really enjoyed this watch. It was my favorite documentary of the year, and that is why.
That's about an Italian individual, isn't it?
Yes, Alessia is an Italian freediver. Yes, she is, and the dude, his name was Steven in it, I think.
Steven. Doesn't sound very Italian.
He's like an elite. Like he does it as well, but he's like an instructor, basically. Yeah. Anyway, number 4 for me. Now it's time for number 3. Back to Jaden.
This is exciting because I'll be the first to step on some toes. We're going to revisit a film previously mentioned. Number 3 for me is J. Robert Oppenheimer. You know, what's there to say about this one that hasn't been said by us or other people?
It did pretty well, I think.
Yeah.
A few people saw it.
Like 900 million in the box office, something like that. Did it cross $1 billion? Actually, I don't know.
I don't
think it has
so,
yet.
I think it's like the stat is that it's the most successful film to not be top, right?
Oh, wait, what? What?
Like, because Barbie outperformed it, so I think it's the most successful film to not be number 1 at the box office.
You mean the second most
So number
successful?
2?
Yeah, no, but because it's not what? No, like it's the most successful second place
Of all time.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think that was the stat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I thought you were going to say it's the most, because it is Nolan's most successful non-Batman movie, I think, right?
Yeah, I think you're right in that too.
So sorry, that's what I thought you were going to say. Anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Everything that we said about it in the episode, I did only give it an 8 out of 10. So I think it actually is the lowest score in my top 5, which is an interesting stat. It's in a similar position to what Dune was a few years ago, where that was also an 8 out of 10, but I think it also came third for me. So
Yeah.
It's parallels and all that. Bit of fun.
Sure. Big cinematic pieces of the year, 10 polls of the year. Okay.
Number 3. My number 3 film, much like my second best film of the year, is a film where an author, like a well-known, very established director is like just like kind of totally leaving the audience behind and doing his own. He's totally lost. He's totally, he's totally lost in his own style. I guess he's
Lost in the Sauce.
Lost in the Sauce. Yeah, I didn't want to say that, but that's what my brain was going for. So my third best film is The Killer, by David Fincher. This was a great movie about Uber Eats, traveling around the world and killing people, and it's a coconut of a movie. It's got a very hard surf, and it's hard to kind of penetrate, as we kind of learned in our review. But I feel like there's a lot to it, a lot that it's trying to say, and it's also just a very technically awesome film. The fight sequence in Florida was amazing, and just some of those moments of like pure style, pure Fincher just blasting from the screen was really great. So yeah, the Fincher is number 3. I'm sorry, The Killer is number 3 for me.
The Fincher. Nice.
Truly Lost in the Sauce is then.
That's obviously a great choice. Continuing this little thread here, Oppenheimer, The Killer, of films where you can go and listen to our reviews right now and get all the in-depth thoughts. And there'll be more of that as well. But definitely do that for those. Definitely do that for my number 3, which is The Hunger Games, Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Just a killer movie, man. I keep thinking about those performances to the point where there were performances in this movie that were close to getting my top performance of the year award later on. So, and I don't know, just like personally, nothing against. I mean, I like a lot of the acting in the other Hunger Games movies as we went over this year, but I just wouldn't have ever thought I would think of them that highly, and I did. So yeah, just some fantastic acting, a fantastic story that was surprising. Still love that third act, just how subversive it was, and just felt like a very thematically conscious movie, I should say. Which again, just came in, and I was expecting a cool Hunger Games story, but got my snow content, love that, and then sort of got something more as well. So yeah, really enjoyed that one this year, which makes it my number 3. It's on the board. I don't know. Will it come back? I don't know. Jaden, number 2.
My number 2 was my number 1 for a very long time before swapping positions. Just this week when I was really thinking about it. This is another film we reviewed on the show, and that's Mission Impossible 7. Dead Reckoning. Fuck. I had to think of that. It's
Part
fucking
one.
hard.
Part one,
Mhm.
exactly.
Part one, yeah. Just amazing. Really, really amazing. I think Fallout's still better because Fallout to me is a perfect film. But I think the action is brilliant, the drama is brilliant, Tom Cruise is enthralling as always. The rest of the cast, Beck, Haley, Simon Pegg, all that shit, brilliant. The comedy works pretty well, but I think it ultimately does become a little bit too common in the film, and I think that held it back a little bit. But I'm incredibly excited to see where it all ends up. Yeah, it was very close to being my number one film of the year. Very close.
Interesting. Obviously, we'll get there in a minute, but I'm very curious what could have topped it. If you said it was there for so long, it's got me thinking.
Well, my number one and two hadn't changed since July. I think July, maybe August. I don't know, but yeah.
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 Okay, all right. Bit of suspense here for a few minutes. Very good choice, though. Fitzy.
My number 2 is Asteroid City by Wes Anderson. Just as Fincher is lost in his methodical, exacting style, Anderson is fully, he's fully gone with his ensemble cast and his design aesthetic, his perfect symmetry, and all that stuff that's common to Wes Anderson films. But especially like the kind of not incoherency, but kind of jumbledness of his later films, like French Dispatch, kind of feels similar in that regard. I understand people who feel distant to this film because it is very focused on like services, I guess, and it's very easy to not fall for not become involved with any of the characters or anything like that. But and it's also just as meta as his other stuff, if not more so. So another director lost in the sauce. Um, another one bites the dust, I guess. But no, I just loved it because just constantly entertaining, and it told a good story about like unexpected events and grief. Kind of, the film is centered around a play production, but the play itself is about like an alien, like first contact with an alien, like landing in this kind of science fair, competition kind of thing. And then the story around it is like one about grief. So it's kind of like that he's relating these two ideas on two different levels of abstraction, kind of, and it just really worked for me. But I totally get it not working for others, and it being like another film like The Killer, which is lower rated on IMDb. Because
Yeah.
again, it is a bit, like I said, and I felt that way about the French Dispatch. I guess I felt a bit distant to that, but yeah, I didn't feel distant to this movie. I thought it was really awesome, and yeah, I'm just glad I enjoyed it. So that's my number
Hell yeah.
2, Asteroid City.
Hell yeah.
Was this a year for being lost in the sauce?
I guess
Because
so.
you got Scorsese in this
Yeah, 3.5.
circle jerky type thing.
Mm.
True.
Same with Christopher.
As Luke said, Scorsese was jerking off
All over the
when he
place.
made Killers of the Flower Moon. Yeah. Maybe after COVID, that they just kind of
Needed a big release.
yeah, they got that blank check and just wanted to let it out.
Yep, exactly. That's exactly right. Okay. My number 2 is another stepping on toes situation. This is where the points are going to be earned in these kind of situations. So I'm happy to give those points to Across the Spider-Verse. This was a dope-ass movie. I like Into the Spider-Verse a fair bit. I enjoyed it. I never really understood it being like seen as peak cinema personally, but I thought it was a great movie, So coming into this one, I sort of probably had tempered expectations compared to a lot of people. And then that just ended up benefiting my experience because it came out, of course, the anime. So yeah, everyone talks about the animation, right? I'm kind of bored of talking about the animation, to be honest. And it's kind of, and that's weird to say because the animation is the furthest thing from boring. It's like, it's incredible. It looks snazzy as we get it. I don't need it. I'm here to talk about the story. You know, I'm here to talk about the dope ass surprising stuff that they did with those characters that I really, really dug and was just surprised by, and you know, left me in a really cool spot with what I hope is going to be a cool conclusion to a trilogy. And yeah, I just didn't really expect to end up really vibing with a cliffhanger like that, and vibing with a story like that, and what they did with Miles, and yeah, just ended up really connecting with the characters more so than I anticipated. So yeah, that's why it's my number 2 movie of the year, and got to watch it in the Chinese theater in LA. That was a great experience as well. Might have knocked it up a point. I'm not going to lie. And the Yankees, this probably knocked it up another half point, to be honest. The Yankees were surprisingly not obnoxious to watch it with. I was going in thinking, here we go. You know, these dumbass 14-year-olds in here are going to be like, oh, it's Spider-Man or whatever. You know, they're going to be like shouting at the screen or some bullshit. Everyone was way too much like Australia in there, actually. So anyway, number 2. Maybe I would have liked them to be a bit more rowdy, actually, now that I think about it.
A gun or two.
Confirm your bias.
Yeah. It's all right. Number 1, it's time. This is gonna change the landscape right here, but we'll see what happens. Jaden, what came in and took it from Tom?
Tom would be pretty pissed off at this. I think this taking it away from him. But that is this little film called A24. Called Past Lives, distributed by A24.
Holy shit!
Really, isn't it today? Damn.
Yeah.
Wow.
This has been the film that lingers on my mind the most this year. Maybe it is an experience thing as well. Perhaps because it's so strongly, because we did get to see Celine's talk twice about it. But it's phenomenal. It really is probably just the I don't know how to, like, it's the most emotion packed film that I have seen that I haven't cried in, I think.
Okay.
And like it's sad in a really beautiful and delicate way. And I'll mention again later in a certain category that makes it so punchy as well. But it's just a film I really can't fault, don't want to fault, love, think about it all the time. And it's not the only film, but from someone that I haven't heard of, I am now very interested in all the careers of Greta Lee or Celine Song, especially, you know, I mentioned in our review, I mentioned when we were just talking, you know, post-screening that Celine's youthfulness in the way that she talks and the passion she has when she talks is just really exciting in what is becoming a rather dogged kind of old industry where you have these old heads that are kind of running the place at the moment. So Celine's very exciting, and I just love it. Just keen for way more from her.
Put it on the board. Very nice choice for sure. Number 1.
My number 1 was also another quiet indie film. No, not actually. It was John Wick Chapter 4. Yeah, an action film has taken the first place for me this year, which isn't
Is that a
a
first,
usual
yeah?
occurrence, but
Yeah.
I feel like this film definitely deserved it. It was just awesome, you know, seeing this film in the cinema. Yeah, easily the best like action of the series and some of the best action I've seen. It just kept like topping itself over and over again, and you know, when we got to that like, you know, Hotline Miami like top down perspective, that part I was like almost just levitating with the camera. It was so cool, and it was just a great Keanu performance as well. He was just yeah, you know, yeah, all the way through. And John Wick Chapter 4 was just one of the best action films I've seen, and an awesome cinema experience. So, and it's something I can chuck on like anytime. And you know, I feel like if this was on TV, I'd just be, you know, glued to it for the rest of the runtime. So, don't have to be in any specific mood or anything. And it's a crowd pleaser as well. I think everyone can get that same thing out of it. So, I had an awesome time with John Wick 4. And that is why it's my number 1 film of 2023.
Well done. That's good. Yeah, dude, obviously love the movie as well. For me, like, watching Chad, I've watched a fair few interviews with Chad talking about it, and that's elevated it for me too. Just him like going into all the details of how they pull some of that stuff off. It is damn awesome. But John Wick Chapter 4 is not my number 1.
Damn.
Jaden, call it a slam dunk. My number 1 is Past Lives as well. No doubt. This one, I echo what you say, Jan. It's a hard movie to talk about. We actually did, I think, a pretty okay job of talking about it in our review. I re-listened to a chunk of it, and I actually thought we were pretty good in that. To be honest, I'm probably going to be way less good now. But an emotionally charged film in a very unconventional way. I'm just trying to repeat what Jane said in different words because it's totally true. It's a film that has stuck with me absolutely. It's one of those ones where I think pretty similar to what you already said, Jane, but like in terms of when I was thinking about it, like, is it going to be my number one? Is it like, I don't know. I basically kept trying to convince myself for the last few weeks that it wasn't going to be my number one.
Yeah. I've been doing that since fucking August.
Yeah. Like, because you're like, no, Tom, give it to Tom. But for me, I was like, no, I feel like something else can come along. I feel like, and this is not a knock on the film. I'm not saying I was looking for something better. I'm just like, I just was still finding myself with how much I really connected with it, I guess, because it was like, I don't know, like, is it my number one? And it just sort of keeps rising from the ashes for me. It's like it's still kept coming back, and it's like, yeah, no, it is my number one. Killer performances, killer vibe, killer editing. I love, oh my god, love that opening shot that we talked about in the review. Love so many of the shots in the film. Yeah, it's a very special movie.
I also got to give the film a lot of credit because it helped me with my studio project this year for architecture.
That's right. Absolutely. Give it a bump for that. Why the hell not?
Like it boosted it boosted my project, and
yeah, absolutely. I mean, if a movie can help with your schoolwork, with your real life in a very practical way, then it's like, isn't that like a default number one? Surely. So yeah, Past Lives was awesome. Listening to Celine talk about the film was awesome. Thank you, Andy, for that, by the way, for sure. Andy basically has completely had this overarching influence on this year's awards, as it turns out, probably unintentionally so. But yeah, and I feel like obviously, it's still early in terms of like award season in Hollywood and shit, but I've got a feeling like the film was nominated at Golden Globes, which is a good sign for it.
Yeah.
Don't know how things are going to play out, but I feel like this might end up being my Everything Everywhere, if that makes sense. In terms of like, it might end up being like the fan favorite, like everyone's pulling for it, and I might be on that team this time, I guess, is what I'm saying. So I'm kind of excited to see how that goes.
I actually haven't seen the noms.
Oh, don't ask me. What's up, man? Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
Barbie.
That's kind of what I said.
Isn't Barbie in the musical comedy section?
Oh, yeah, they do that. Yeah. I forgot about that.
That's kind of what I was feeling in the review, that it might be, the next Everything Everywhere.
Yeah.
And the fact that it was nominated is a good hope for that, I guess.
All right. Very good, Jaden. Let's hit the scoreboard. What are the results looking like?
Do you want me to go from 3 to 1? Or top 5? Like, how much do you want?
Yeah, give us a top 5, yeah.
Top 5. Oops, I was only preparing for 3.
Oh, shit. Sorry.
Right, so top 5, I think it would have to go... Well, we have a tie. So we got Asteroid City and Mission Impossible 7 coming in at number 5. 4 points each. Mentioned by one person each. In number 4, we've got J. Robert Oppenheimer on 4 points as well, but since he was mentioned by 2 people, I've put him in 4th. Number 3 is John Wick 4 on 5 points, but all 5 points come from Liam. So then the second film of the Cinema Effect 2023 Best Ofs is Across the Spider-Verse, also on 5 points, but again spoken of by 2 people. And then, like I said, Slam Dunk with Past Lives blows it out the water. 10 points, double the competition.
Damn.
Absolutely smacks it.
Did you give Spider-Verse the nudge over John Wick because 2 people chose it? Yeah, good logic. Very nice. What's going to be the movie on the thumbnail, though? The most important award of all.
I really thought you were banking up for Oppenheimer. I was sorry we did add the 5 points to Oppenheimer.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh shit! It didn't even make it for me.
Yeah, that's surprising. That surprised me.
Yeah. Okay.
Do we go through the spooky ones now and Andy's, or do we save that till after TV?
Nah, we'll do that. We're doing TV first. Yeah, I got you. Now it's time. As Jane already sort of did a segue, and then I was like going to come in with another one, but whatever. It's time for our top 3 TV series of 2023.
Oh, do I have to keep Sorry, let me keep track of this. I don't think there will be much crossover. But...
Yeah, well, it's interesting. I wouldn't be surprised if there's more crossover. Maybe a little bit.
We'll maybe a little bit, actually. No, I think
maybe a little bit.
Maybe
well, why not? You're doing a great job as an analyst. Keep it up.
I added those numbers up pretty quick.
You did very good. So yeah, the same thing applies. Top 3 shows. Only criteria is that the show had to have a season that released in 2023. So there you go. Okay, back to number 3 this time.
Number 3 for me is It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, season 16.
Oh, is it actually season 16?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's rare for a TV show to be going this long and still be so strong. Longest running live action sitcom on TV. It definitely wasn't anywhere near their strongest season, but it has one of the funniest episodes of the series, and it has my favorite episode of the year across anything. And that's an episode called Frank vs. Russia. And it parodies a real life event where Liam would know, but when Magnus Carlsen accused that other guy of using butt plugs to cheat. So the episode concerns itself with that, where Frank enters a chess tournament with butt plugs, and it
that's great.
The scene, one of the scenes had me laughing for like 5 minutes post episode. Really just funny, and it just keeps on going. So yeah, that's It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia for me in number 3.
Well, my TV shows are pretty boring. Like, you probably guess them all fairly easily. And I didn't really watch much TV besides these 3 shows, these 3 seasons. But my third best TV show of 2023 is Beef, and Netflix. Just a very punchy Netflix, bingey kind of show. Very entertaining performances. Very good show about ego, I guess, and modern fragility and these things. And I don't know. I think I mentioned it in Whiplash or something, but every episode ended with something inwardly changing with one of the characters, or something drastically kind of changing the plot in an interesting way. And it kind of also just had this, every episode had a great musical accompaniment to end it. So every episode ended on a punchy kind of note, and that's why it was just a very bingey kind of show in that way. It was never it wasn't slow at any point or anything like that. So yeah, Beef, very beefy, great time. Yes.
Was it beefy?
I just wanted to use the word beefy. Yeah.
Yeah. No, you did well. Yeah. Sorry for scrutinizing you too hard there. Yeah. I'll say no. Hang on.
I know you didn't like it that much. Right?
Oh no! Sorry, I was sorry.
He was moving on to his honorable mentions.
I was going to do my honorable mentions, but I'll save them. All right, my number 3 is The Last of Us. It was fantastic. It's so funny because it's so weird. It was almost a year ago now. That's bizarre because it started in January. So, but I just remember it occupied a really strong space in my mind for those weeks it was running. Loved watching every episode as they came out. Loved it probably even more. Listening to the podcasts after with Neil Druckmann and Craig Mazin really added to the experience for me for sure. And just seeing this game, one of my favorite games of all time, come to life so spectacularly was a real treat. This is going to be the case. Best performance this year, I basically ignored TV shows on purpose later because I could talk about TV shows all day in that category. Because we obviously reviewed The Last of Us, and Pedro was unbelievable. Still totally holds up in my mind.
His counterpart, not so much.
I was going to say what I knew some trash was going to be talked, man, about Bella Ramsey. I thought she was absolutely fantastic as well. And just, a great run. They did it. You know what I mean? They did it. HBO, like no one else could. They adapted The Last of Us, and it was good. So that's pretty astounding. And just the highest quality stuff. So yeah, number 3 definitely goes to The Last of Us. It's probably a better show than my number 2, but I gave it number 3 just because it is The Last of Us, and I know The Last of Us already and have known it for 10 years. You know what I mean? It's not new, so they probably knocked it down a little bit just in the ranking. But yeah, it's a fantastic show.
My number 2 show is Ahsoka, little Star Wars project from this year, where they butchered my favorite character. No, I'm just fucking with you. No, I love the show a lot more than I thought I would, given like my history with Star Wars TV.
Oh yeah, you're a Star Wars TV hater, man.
Well, I love Andor. Mando's shit, and Boba Fett's even shitter. No, but Ahsoka's fantastic. Looks wise, acting wise, sound wise, story wise. I think they did a lot of great things with the characters that have been established. You know, I know a lot of people don't like a lot of things about it, but I think I disagree with them at most points, at all points, as we discussed in our episode on it.
Yeah, you did a really good job channeling those people though when you made that opening joke about them ruining her.
Yeah,
it's like perfect, dude. That was like peak Star Wars Instagram fan right there. So well done.
My number 2 is another show you could probably guess that would be on this list. The Bear, season 2. Yeah, I loved season 2 of The Bear, but probably even more than season 1. It just it maintained the intensity of that first season, but it added much more. It fleshed out some side characters to a much greater degree, and it just had some like incredible individual episodes. The cousin episode with the Forks. I think it was just called Forks. It was fantastic.
That was one of my favorite episodes of the year. Definitely
good. And the Christmas episode I really loved. And I don't know, it's just it was a really fantastic season. It alleviated some of the pressure, but there was still that kind of underlying tension. So yeah, just another great season of The Bear, and I hope they're able to maintain this quality. Yes, Jane.
Like I should have asked this back a few weeks ago, but when a certain character appeared in season 1 and it was played by a certain person, were you guys as shocked as I was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, we can say that. We can say who it is, right?
Can we? I don't know. Is it a big deal?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Season 1. You're talking about John Bernthal, right?
Yeah.
Dude, I was like, what?
Yeah, that was sick.
Are you spoiled for season 2 at all?
No.
You haven't seen nothing yet. No. In terms of that stuff.
Yeah, you ain't seen nothing, boy.
I haven't seen nothing. It's like not even. It's like nothing actually.
Thanks.
What that show does. Yeah. But yes, for sure. It was actually really funny because then I watched the Peanut Butter Falcon, and it's the exact same thing. John Bernthal plays the dead brother in flashbacks. It's the exact same thing. It was just really funny, and he killed himself. It's the same thing. Okay.
Oh, exciting.
Yeah, exactly. Number 2. Sorry if I cut you off a bit abruptly earlier, Jaden, but that's only because I'm going straight back to Ahsoka and Dave Filoni, man. This guy doesn't miss. He hasn't missed. I mean, come on. You saw he got promoted the other day?
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
God, no complaints here. Story was awesome. Characters were awesome. Won me over on a lot of the live action portrayals. I mean, I was never a hater of them, to be honest. I was never, I was pretty open-minded. But they delivered in a lot of respects to different extents. But I know we're huge Amanis Fandi fans, for sure. I know a lot of people are. But, dude, he was killer. I really like Rosario. Just the pacing of the story, where they took everything. It's hard to say without spoilers, but, obviously go and listen to our way too long episode about it, which was a lot of fun to record. We dived into absolutely everything. But can I just say, dude, what a pleasure it is in 2023 to get to see Hayden Christensen acting on my screen and just killing it. You know what I mean? I love it. I love it so much. It gives me so much joy. It really, really does. And for everyone to just love it so much as well, that's a pleasure of the show for sure. So yes, Ahsoka.
Well, the other day, little Ahsoka is the girl from Barbie.
Oh yeah, didn't you know that?
Nah. But when I watched Barbie, I was like,
it's little Ahsoka. It's little Ahsoka that I hated. Is that what you thought?
Yeah, about as enjoyable.
Yeah. Oh god. No hate. All right.
Number 1 for me is The Last of Us. It's been a pretty lackluster year for TV for me. Not lackluster. It's been like a, what do you call it? I haven't watched a lot of TV as well, like Liam. I was actually surprised with I managed to get 6 shows on this list. So when it came down to like narrowing my top 3, it was pretty clear because the other stuff that I do like hasn't even finished yet. So like this top 3 was piss easy for me, and The Last of Us kind of just makes sense. Everything you said about it, I think you probably do like it more than me.
Okay.
But
okay.
yeah, I think it seems like you've liked other products more than that. So interesting how that's played out.
Yeah. No, yeah, that is the impression I got from our review as well. I think I liked it. I think I liked it most. Would you say
Yeah.
that, Fitzy? I don't know if you're going to say it for number 1. I don't think I wouldn't think so.
I think that was the vibe.
Gotcha.
But you didn't like the Bill episode, did you?
I didn't like it. It was a really good episode. It was
You
probably
hate
my
the
least favorite
gas.
episode. Yeah.
Oh, the third episode, yeah.
God damn it. It was probably my least favorite episode just because for me,
There's
like,
gas.
no. I'm not even going to. The harder I try to defend myself, the worse it's going to be. So I'm not even going to try. No, that's obviously an excellent choice for number 1. Fitzy, something tells me HBO's clean sweep this. Tell me I'm wrong.
Yeah, true.
I'm gonna write it down before you even say it.
Should think of something else. No. Yeah, Succession season 4 was my favorite show of the year. You know, more business fuckery, more. It was the first time it felt the emotion was much realer than other seasons. I'll say that. Everything came to a head, and events wise, everything also came to a head. A lot much happened. There was a whole like new scale just for the last season. And the writing, the acrid, the the acidic wit was there with all the characters, and yeah, it was just another great HBO time show. So yeah, I don't know. Well, that's putting it lightly. It's definitely like one of the best shows of all time. But yeah.
Drop the mic.
I already put your points on it too, Zach.
Oh, of course, dude. I said it in the review. Succession's the best show I've ever seen. It is. It's unbelievable. Did everything Fitzy said. I love what is acidic wit. That's so perfect. I love that. Totally true about the heightened emotions this season. Also totally true is that every time I think about this show, another show I love listening to the podcasts to after, by the way, I just can't believe that ensemble exists. Like the casting is so perfect. Obviously, like the characters there on the page, great to have them together, like just as characters. But then everyone who plays every single character is just perfect and is just like an 11 out. Everyone in that show delivers an 11 out of 10 performance every time, and it's just a joy to watch, and often excruciatingly cringe to watch in the best way possible. So it's huge credit to the show. I love it so much, and it's definitely my number 1. That's it. It won Succession.
Yeah. So as far as the top 3 goes, it's
Yeah.
a tie between Last of Us and Ahsoka. So I'm not sure how you want to place those because it's either first and third or the 2 seconds. What gets more value?
Ah, I see what you mean.
The 2 seconds?
Would you just call it a tie?
Yeah, sure. All right, so in number 3 is The Bear, and then equal second we'll give Last of Us Ahsoka, and then in 1 is a Succession.
I like that. I like that because my top 3 are in it, so I like it for that reason. So yeah, okay. No, that's cool. That's very good.
If the Invincible season was like,
Oh yeah.
how are you tracking that season? You reckon that would have made a place?
Yeah, it's very good so far.
Now it's time, as always. We usually do it at the end, but awards, we switch it up. Now we hand the show over to you with our question of the show. Last week, we asked you, what have been your favourite movies and TV shows of 2023? Luke said, top 5 movies of 2023. I assume this would be in order, I think, right?
I think so.
Oppenheimer, number 1. John Wick 4. Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. Was that a joke? Or
I think it is. No, I don't think. I think he just didn't realize.
He did the same as you.
Yeah.
And Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Okay. So yeah, definitely all crossover with us, except none of us said Guardians 3. Okay, so that's cool. That's different. That's a different shout for sure. Top 5 shows of 2023. So he's got Footloose watching TV. He's got Loki season 2 as number 1, Invincible season 2, even though it's still going. He had the balls. Gen V season 1. Did any of us watch that?
No.
Okay.
No.
I thought we might. You guys are bigger boys fans than me, so I thought you might have.
You like boys?
I like love me some boys. And have you been paying attention? And Secret Invasion. I haven't watched much TV in 2023. Yeah.
Secret Invasion making that list is interesting.
So, but I'm thinking, is that why he put that caveat in at the end? Like he's basically just saying
Maybe that's just the 5 things he's watched.
Yeah, exactly. It was just best to worst. I had the same thing. I should say. I mean, I don't know. I still watch a fair bit of TV, but definitely like last year was stacked for me. I remember. It wasn't like that. Andy said, probably the busiest year I've had with cinema, which I am very proud of. That's definitely true, by the way. When I re-listened to Andy's comment last year, was about the fact that he hadn't really seen many 2022 films, but he's gone above and beyond this year in rectifying that. However, I don't think I can share my favourites or a ranking yet. Boo! As there are more 2023 films. Piss off. More 2023 films that still need to be seen and haven't been released yet. My ranking will be published probably a week before the Oscars, so I'll write out some highlights and memories for this year. Here we go. Andy says, going to the cinemas, watching Cocaine Bear, and then Dr. Luke and I got to go on the episode with you guys. I won't interject too much because we'll talk about some of this later too. Going to Melbourne to see the opening weekend of Oppenheimer and a screening on IMAX 70mm for the very first time with a fairly large group. And then Barbie a weekend later with just Ken. I mean, Liam. 2023 was my first ever year where I was officially going out and properly engaging with an international film festival. I had the exciting pleasure of taking the hosts to a screening at the Melbourne International Film Festival, MIF, but Zach hates calling it that, I really do, to see Celine Song's Past Lives, had a Q&A and then a masterclass talk from the director herself. I think Past Lives might have a chance of winning Cinema Effects Award show, by the way. Andy coming in clutch, as usual.
Pathetic.
Nailed it. I was going to include watching the new Andy Lau and Tony Leung film as they were going to reunite on the big screen for the first time in 20 years since Infernal Affairs 3, but it doesn't get a theatrical release in Hong Kong and China until 30th of December. Nonetheless, those were my favourite movies, in quotes, of 2023, if I'm allowed to use this alternative answer. Andy, you're a coward for sure, but I respect you and you wrote in very good memories, so you've saved yourself. Very well done. Thank you. Thank you. And some killer movies we watched this year, by the way, just in that list. Already, tons of our top 5 came from all those memories, so that's great.
Where's Barbie go for you, Liam? Because you loved that. You seem to really vibe with it. You had the whole Ken thing going. I was really expecting this to be
Barbie was 11th, but yeah, I did really enjoy Barbie. It just wasn't. I thought Ryan Gosling, again, it was one of his best comedic performances, and every time he was on screen, I really loved it. But there was still some cringe moments. I get it. I didn't love all of it, but it was a volatile experience, and I enjoyed the story. So I wouldn't say I loved Barbie, Jane. I wouldn't say that.
I don't know. Your review was all about being Knuff and Ken and Ken. I don't know. It seemed like you'd fallen in, with the kind of.
It was a cultural experience, Jane. I did.
He fell for it, Jaden. Let's be honest.
Any disappointments? Actually, not to inflate the time of the show anymore, but any disappointments from this year?
Oh yes. Killers of the Flower Moon would be my disappointment because I said that was my most anticipated film of the year, and I just didn't really connect with it that much. I thought it was pretty dull and much less of a procedure than I thought it'd be. It was kind of very slow, and I don't know. I didn't really. That was my big disappointment of the year.
I don't know. I think everything is about where I was placing it in my head prior to getting in there. I think maybe the biggest disappointment. Yeah, I don't want to say Killers as well to trash on it, but it kind of is. I think is the only one that I was severely undershot where I was expecting it to be. Still liked it though, as I discussed in the episode because you two weren't there.
Good episode. Check it out. Fizzy, did we get Instagram responses to this question though?
Oh yes, we got 3 Instagram responses. First was from my mom. She said, oh,
I thought you were gonna like try and like go. This one's from Julie, like
Yeah,
try and
yeah.
like sugarcoat it.
Hey, don't dox my mom's first name.
Sorry.
Her best film was Oppenheimer, which she saw with my dad. So she's got great taste there. And then Succession season 4, also
Wow.
got great taste there.
God, peak.
Finney in Oz said The West Wing.
Is he gonna call him out like this? Clearly misunderstood the question.
Yeah, but my mum did it initially too. I think she said, what did she say? Oh, Shawshank Redemption was like, which is like always a favorite film. But
Right,
definitely not 2023. And then Paul said Ghost season 5, which I'm not familiar with at all.
Yeah, season 5 does seem to have been out in 2023.
Alright.
Seems like a British comedy.
Pass.
At least 2 of the actors I saw in it.
Yeah.
I know are comedians, I think. So
One parent passed, so we got there in the end.
Shit. I can't even say he watched The West Wing in 2023.
Oh,
he didn't.
No.
I thought maybe you guys were working through it at the moment.
Yeah, that would have been somewhat acceptable, but no.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's that, I guess. All right, very good. But 2023. Who gives a shit? Now it's time to look back at the year that was with our Cinema Effect 2023 awards categories. That's not, of course, just limited to shit that came out in 2023. We have to go over everything we reviewed this year. We have an array of categories related to the entire 4th season of Cinema Effect, all very prestigious, of course. So, we'll start off with a variety of awards. We've all selected winners for individually for everything that we've reviewed this year. As well as, celebrating a few just for the podcast as well. And episodes. We'll get to it. You'll see. You'll get it. First category, as usual, is best and worst performance.
I think I was saying this last year, but we need to start watching some more intentionally bad films, just so we can actually have some answers with this, because I struggled, to be honest, with in terms of worst in all of these categories.
I didn't. Yeah, for sure. But I don't think that's good enough a reason to actually watch bad films. To be fair, but I get what you mean.
Best for me, this could have gone so many places. But I think the one that I settled on was Andrew Garfield in Social Network as Eduardo. That character breaks my heart so much every time. I don't know, such a powerful performance. I mean, like, I don't know. I think in his breakdown, but even in his start, being the one person that does believe in Mark the entire time, and the betrayal and the court scenes, not court scenes, sorry, but like the what do you call it?
Hearings.
Yeah. I think Garfield is just phenomenal in all that. The worst goes to the cast of Blair Witch. Dog shit.
That is. I get it. That's well deserved to an extent. Yeah.
My best is Jim Carrey in Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, just because he's able to fully suppress all his Jim Carreyness and give a sad, honest, performance. And yeah, that character really is just feels fully fleshed out and has stuck with me ever since seeing that film for the first time. So yeah, I'll give it to Jim Carrey this year. For worst, you guys are gonna hate me for this. Michelle Williams in The Fabelmans.
Dude, I knew it. Oh, come on!
It's just an over the top. One critic described it as grandiosely sentimental. A grandiosely sentimental performance, and it's just I hated it. It was really really cringe. Maybe Spielberg's mother was really like that, but I just don't like it. It's too much, man, and yeah, it's rare you see a bad performance from a good actor, but a great actor. So that especially makes it the worst performance of the year. But yeah. Also, as Jane said, we didn't do any bad films, so I have to give it to her. But it is a bad performance, so I'll give it to Michelle Williams.
Dude, that was one of the ones I re-listened to, and when you, because obviously it hurts so much because she's so good in it. But like when you said it in the episode, all the way back in January, I'm like, this man better not pick it now. I swear to God, he better
The
not.
first episode and the last episode of the year.
He stuck with it. He stuck with it. I'll give you that.
Consistent.
Best performance is always, and it is always going to be, I think, a really tough one. I actually went with Robert De Niro in The King of Comedy because
Another early
it's
one.
De Niro. Obviously, I think he's a fantastic actor. Shocking hot take right there, but I just remember being really surprised with that range in that performance, and it was just such a different character from him than I'd ever seen before. I don't know. This guy is sort of socially on the fringe, but not in a Joker way, not in a Joaquin way. In like this guy's kind of quirky and he's sort of doing this weird shit with his voice, and it was just very different. We talked about in the review, that he usually just plays these straight sort of tough dudes kind of thing, or like funny grandpas. That's kind of his two things. But yeah, no, this was just so different from him that it stood out, and of course you get that standing out factor with the De Niro quality, and it's probably the winner for me this year, to be honest, which I was kind of surprised by. My worst performance is Guy Pearce in Lawless.
Oh yeah, that was definitely one of the considerations for me.
Yeah, that
Your
shit
slander
sucked.
of Lawless still pisses me off, and the
Your
fact that I wasn't there to
enjoyment,
defend it.
Yeah, your enjoyment
your
pisses me
defending
off.
of Lawless pisses me off 100%. Yes. Oh man, that I just remember he was like really angry, really pissed off, but there was no motivation behind the character, which is a script issue, in his defense. But he's just he's like giving it his all with this backstory that he might have in his head, but we just don't have a clue what the fuck it is, and I've got no idea why he's behaving this way. And it's just way over the top. So why is he so mad? Just calm down, dude. You're just an
Because he's
FBI
got
agent.
fucking little prepubescent boys like you fucking criticizing him.
Just do your job, mate. You know what I mean? Just calm down. And I mean, I do hate to give worst performance to like the only guy we've probably ever reviewed from Geelong. What are you going to do? It's the truth. We've got to speak it. All right. Now it's time for best score.
Best score, I've got a 3-way tie, but I'll only mention one,
Oh, you got to say more now.
You reckon?
Oh, yeah.
Nah, fuck you. I'm going to give it to Gustavo with The Last of Us, interpolating the score that he had already had and rejigging it and having that same classic goddamn banjo kind of country kind of thing going on. Like an awesome.
Hell yeah. One of my favourite scores of all time, so no complaints here, for sure.
My best score goes to Oppenheimer, Ludwig Göransson. I think the Oppenheimer score is already, it already has pop culture status. It's already iconic. You see it in meme videos and stuff, so that means it's established within Western culture. But the Oppenheimer score is awesome. It just is constantly it feels like it's pushing the film forward and building towards an explosion maybe. But it's really just a great score.
Some great composers covered this year. One of them, his name I can never get pronounced right. It's Lorne Bolf. Bolf? Is it just Bolf?
I think it is. I just say Lorne Bolf.
It just it just sounds so wrong, Like this guy's name can't be Lorne Bolf, but I think it is. Sorry, Lorne, but anyway, your score for Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1 changed my life. It's friggin' phenomenal. I re-listened to it. It elevated the movie, probably bumped up the score for me. And there is a track on it. I think it's called Chasing Amy. That track got thrown on my gym playlist. That track has made me run definitely. I don't want to say like much faster because I'm the slowest runner ever, but that track has made me run, let's say, at least 20% faster when it comes on. You know what I mean? So absolutely, it made me feel like Tom Cruise sprinting out there in Geelong. So, helping me with my performance. Best score of the year, no doubt. That's another one that's always stacked. That's always really hard, for sure. All right. Best cinematography.
I've got two here, but I think what I've settled on is the Wes Anderson shorts. I think the way that these films are shot, those shorts are shot, they elevate what he's trying to do in the way that he dresses his sets and the way he conveys his stories and what he's trying to do. You know, it's somewhere where I can actually see the cinematography adding to the medium rather than just being pretty pictures. Although I know in 9 out of 10 cases it is, you know, more than pretty pictures and it actually is, you know, serving a purpose. In these shorts, I can actually identify it. So that's why I have selected those.
For sure. Did you have one in particular, maybe?
I want to say this one because the way that it's framed around is like kind of like theater-esque performance.
That's good stuff, for sure. Liam?
My best cinematography goes to Ad Astra, Hoyt van Hoytema. Yeah, I just remember, you know, a lot of unique visuals from this film, a lot of unique space visuals. The moon sequence in particular, the kind of colored reflection of the you know, the visors and that kind of thing. It all feels very distinct, especially for you know, a movie set in space. It doesn't feel kind of gravity like generic-y. So yeah, they stylized space and added a kind of cinematographic element to it, which really elevated the film. So yeah, Ad Astra is my pick.
Ad Astra is also my pick.
Oh damn!
Fantastic stuff. Everything you said, the isolation of space,
Yeah.
the color of space. I love like the you know, we think about the blueness of Neptune when they're there in that final sequence, the artificial lighting, orange lighting on Mars, you know, the way they light that interior on Mars is phenomenal and just makes it feel gross, makes it feel fake, you know, and I think very much by design and you know those orange corridors in that movie and yeah, just a stunning film. No doubt about it. Love everything they do with the planets and space and that montage as well. Obviously that's a big part editing and direction as well, but like all those exterior shots in the montage sequence where Brad Pitt's sort of losing his marbles on the final stretch, you know. Great sequence for sure. So yeah, Hoyt coming out here and winning for not Oppenheimer. Great work all around though. All right, best director.
This goes to Celine for me, partly because of the, you know, what I already said, and again before in the top 5. Yeah, smashed me out of the park. And I think she actually another thing is that like the way that she used the theater kind of beginnings in her film was very nice.
What do you mean by that? Sorry.
Her background in theater, you know,
Oh,
and I think she was able to use influence from that in the film.
gotcha. Yeah. It's hard not to give her best director, considering like she's the director that we actually like interacted with. Is not true, but like she was walking behind us at that one point. And
why did we not just stop and say, "Yo, can we get a pick"? Who was it? Andy that noticed it?
Especially since she's going to be famous in like 2 months.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
That was a mistake. Yeah, it's hard not to give her best director because she is like the director that we loved her movie and we like saw her a bunch. But yeah.
I mean, I consider giving it to Fincher just because we did 4 Fincher films this year.
Yeah.
So I feel like
yeah,
just by default he owns that category. But I'll give it to Francis Ford Coppola for Apocalypse Now, just because I know how hellish the production of that film was, and you know the directorial achievement of capturing all the chaos, you know, the colored kind of mists down the river and all that, blending all these different elements of the jungle together. It was, you know, it's one of the most impressive kind of directorial achievements. So yeah, I'll give it to Coppola for that.
well deserved. That man fought through many apocalypses to get that
Madness.
movie out.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Fights through many apocalypses for every one of his films to get out.
Yeah, exactly. Only the good ones. My best director is Damien Chazelle. He is my best director, probably for Whiplash, you know, but just we reviewed all of his movies on the show except Babylon this year, but then Babylon I watched twice this year outside of the show. So this year was the year of Damien Chazelle for me, you know, in that respect. Watched all of his movies. I loved all our conversations about his movies on the show and just really cemented himself as one of my favorite filmmakers at the moment. I don't know, La La Land being at the bottom of my list is like probably controversial, but but it's still a very good movie, and I have to give a huge shout out to First Man for just catapulting right up there for me, you know. So I re-listened to the score for that this week as well, and it's just like, man, First Man, well, I was sleeping on that shit, you know. So Damien Chazelle, for all of those reasons, just existed right here in my neo-frontal lobe, or whatever
Prefrontal
the fuck it's
cortex.
called, prefrontal cortex in 2023, you know. Best and worst CG.
Best I've given to Detective Pikachu. Fantastic realization of all these Pokemons, like we spoke about in the episode. Worst was hard for me because I genuinely couldn't remember I was looking at all these episodes like, was there anything about CG? So it feels like a cop out saying Cocaine Bear because I by no means think that bear looked bad at all. I think the bear looked pretty good actually, but like, what else did we review that had bad CG?
Yeah, it was tricky in a certain way.
Yeah.
What did Fitzy come up with?
Best, I went with Zodiac just because I think
Yeah.
that like there's a lot of seamless, good CG in that. You know, the fake blood. Was it a fake like time lapse of the building being
The finger hair.
the hair? Yeah, he had fucking fake CG hair in there. So, and I didn't notice any of that. You know, maybe I'll notice it next time, but for now, it is at the top because it's just yeah, very seamless use of it. Not a film that I even had thought would have CG. And worst is, yeah, worst was hard. I did consider Cocaine Bear, but Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Not that I hate that movie or anything, but just because like there are a few clumsy sequences, and sequences that feel like they're kind of on a set, specifically on a stage, and you can kind of feel the weird movement of the CGI. Like the ants, I guess, is one example of that. And when the monkeys appear, it does feel a little bit strange. So
The monkeys, for sure. Yeah.
I'll give it to Kingdom for that.
Yeah. I mean, for a lot of people, that's probably like a no-brainer answer, but like, I feel like it's not as bad as people say.
It's nowhere near as bad as people say. Yeah.
No, but yeah, it is definitely still a fair answer. Yeah, I considered The Killer for the same reasons as Zodiac, just with that seamless CGI. I watched a fair bit of behind the scenes for The Killer, and a lot of that same stuff was happening in that movie. Fincher just killing the game with the CG there, but I did have to give it to Detective Pikachu. It was just like the standout, obvious choice in terms of like, you know, the amount we talked about in the review and just how good it is, and specifically, of course, huge shout out to the best CG character of all time, Psyduck. Just phenomenal performance. I can almost consider him for best performance in the film. Just incredible stuff. Worst CG, I sort of, it's tricky, and this one may continue to be tricky, but I don't mind the category though, because it sort of got me thinking about it in a different way.
Well, if we do one Marvel film a year, we have a fucking answer.
Oh, absolutely. That's very true. There's going to be something in those. But for me, like, not because the CG is bad, but just because it does nothing for me and I find it incredibly uninspired, is the Hunger Games and the mutts at the end. Just bland, just poor, uninspired design, and just didn't need it in the movie. You know what I mean? No, I can't say, oh, like, the computer graphics look bad. It's not that. It's just, you know, it's just subpar CG, you know, and use of it, in my opinion. Could have done something better. Okay, best and worst editing.
Those are good picks from both of you. I completely forgot about those two. Best editing for me goes to something I alluded to earlier, and that's Past Lives. In what makes it so punchy and so seamless and so easy to eat is that it's just every shot is every kind of scene, everything about it is just there for the appropriate amount of time, and just in terms of like, you know, the way that the sequences are constructed, and you know, just the way that you feel the time that passes in the film in the edit, I think is really impressive, like beyond impressive. So that gets best editing for me. Worst editing I've given to Raiders of the Lost Ark because of the opposite of that. I think it was pretty. I think picking worst editing was actually another tough one this year. I think in the past I've struggled with it, but then I've had one that I can be like, oh yeah, this. But this time I was actually like, I don't know. But I've given it to Raiders of the Lost Ark for the opposite of Past Lives, in that nothing about it excited me. and maybe that was down to the edit. Just I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I understand that. I do. You're so right about Past Lives. That whole final sequence, where it's just the awkward pause, the long extended, silence is like that's all in. I mean, in how long they're shooting probably as well, but like in the editing for sure, that timing is impeccable.
My best editing goes to the girl with the dragon tattoo. A film that feels like this. It still feels like the sleekest like David Fincher film to me, which is saying a lot. Yeah, I guess what I remember most about the editing is like the cross cutting leading to kind of reveal, and the kind of montage editing. I think is like fantastic in that film, and just like totally absorbing. So I'll give best editing to Girl with Dragon Tattoo, and worst I went with Cocaine Bear because I feel like it's just very. The whole film feels like jumbled together skits to me. So kind of by design, it feels kind of clumsy and like it doesn't have much rhythm to it at all. So yeah, I'll give worst to Cocaine Bear. Although I don't know how you could improve that film through the editing, to be honest. But yeah.
Oh man, my best editing has to go to Apocalypse Now, and in particular that opening sequence of Martin Sheen.
Mm.
No, it is Martin. Sheen. I almost forgot to
Charlie Sheen.
automatically correct myself.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Emilio Estevez.
in that is it? I thought it was a hotel, but is it a hotel? I don't know. When he's in the bedroom.
In
Yeah,
Saigon or
I think so.
whatever.
Yeah, when he's in the bedroom and we're getting the crossfades with the choppers and that just nightmare prologue. I've really felt like, when you get in like those states when you're like a sort of a drowsy, sleepy state, but like you're waking up, and it just felt like that. It was very interesting. And in the sound as well, the sound mixing and editing there was phenomenal with the sound of the chopper and the fan, and it's really put me in the psyche of the character immediately, which is very important and very effective for what the rest of the movie does. So for that sequence, and of the rest of the movie as well, like Flight of the Valkyries, come on, what a choice, obviously. But the opening was standout for me, definitely. Worst editing, I will admit, ahead of time, this is definitely probably my worst answer of the night, but Mockingjay Part 1, just for the redundant scenes, and I don't know, it was the only time this year where nothing hypercritical about it to say, but it was the only time this year where I actively thought as I was watching a movie, oh, this could have been a deleted scene, and I've thought that a couple times in the movie, and it's like, yeah, they probably should have been deleted scenes then. Best and worst action sequence.
This was tough because initially I had something from Mission Impossible for best action sequence. I think a lot of things from Mission Impossible can go here, but then I thought, no,
Definitely.
Mission Impossible, it's an action film. It's a bit typical. And then I changed up my answer, and it might be something that you guys say. I don't know, but I ended up on the Hunger Games first kills in the arena.
Okay.
The muted sound and just like the brutality of it.
Mm.
Yeah, the kind of disorientating.
The first movie.
Yes, yeah. In the worst, I went with Fifth Element, third act, where it just kind of becomes a shootout in like that space place, and it just wasn't overly exciting because it was just a lot of automatic gunfire, and it didn't really do anything new or interesting. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't exciting. And in a year that we had a lot of exciting action.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, but Eddie Murphy was doing a funny voice. Best and
Chris
worst
Rock was doing a
action
funny
sequence.
voice.
Yeah. My best is the Florida fight out in The Killer. We already dedicated 5 minutes to talking about that fight in the episode. But yeah, it was awesome. It definitely rivaled some of John Wick's best action scenes as well, as Zach said. Yeah, it was just awesome. So that's my best. The worst was just because of how uninspired and kind of boring it was. The Tangier chase in Dial of Destiny on the auto rickshaws, whatever.
I thought about that one.
Yep.
Yeah, that was just a little it was really long and it was pretty dull. So that was the worst of the year for me.
Yeah, I did think about that. That's good. I never lie to my audience, guys, and I would be lying if I said that Anything But the Killer had my best action sequence, because of course it's one of the best action scenes I've seen. It's phenomenal. Go listen to our review about it. Definitely. I want to give a shout out though, because I thought like that's my really obvious answer. Huge shout out to Ahsoka. I thought it had 5 to 10 of the best action scenes in live action Star Wars I've seen in years. So, and it just kept bringing them every week. So I love that as well. Worst action sequence was wasn't terrible, but just because of like the trivia around it as well. Like the first ever not a cat fight in Total Recall.
Oh yeah.
They thought their shit didn't stink with that one, but yeah,
Bro,
I
that
kind of
was
thought
good.
it didn't
Wait, you
do
didn't like
anything.
that?
Yeah. I thought
Nah.
I thought we all agreed that was alright.
Yeah.
No, I said I didn't like it
Listen,
because the editing kind of sucked. Yeah, I didn't like that. I didn't like that scene at all, really. Okay, best and worst accent.
Best for me goes to PP as Joel in The Last of Us. Killed it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Worst goes to Adam Sandler in Leo.
Yeah, what?
Yeah.
Shit.
That was the easiest answer for me of all.
Mm.
Well, I can easily see how this is like overpraising or anything, or something like in a film that's already kind of that is liable to being overpraised. But Cillian Murphy in Oppenheimer, I feel, is very deliberate. It's very specific to the time period because it is a period piece. This guy's also Irish and sounds very different to the character. And he's just got this very awkward, not awkward, but very like specific, scientist kind of slow voice. I guess he chooses his words very like slowly and carefully. So I'll give it to Cillian Murphy in Oppenheimer. That accent was a big part of his performance, I think. And yeah, the worst was also very easy. Adam Sandler in Leo. That was just a no-brainer. Yeah.
Oh really? That was my best, guys.
Uh,
Come on now. My best. How do you feel about this? My best is Bella Ramsey.
Get fucked. There's no way in everything we've done this year you think Bella Ramsey was the best. Her fucking awkward, like, mix up in and out again fucking accent thing.
Oh god, no! It was really good, Jaden. Come on now. No, I thought that. No, my best is honestly, it is Bella Ramsey and Pedro Pascal. Definitely, yeah, that's obviously a great answer. My worst is Gary Oldman in what's the movie called? The Fifth Element. Sorry, that weird Kentucky shit he was doing was just weird. I'm sorry. I don't know. It's fine for the movie, but like even he didn't like it, so I don't know. I'm not going to like it too much then, am I?
I don't like this Fifth Element slander, but okay.
Oh, it's going to continue. Worst moment in a movie we reviewed.
I said all Blair Witch dialogue / camera / movie.
Dude, come on, re-listen to that episode.
Yeah,
you kind of liked it. Let's be honest.
I still hate it in my mind though. The dialogue's fucking awful, and the camera is horrid as well. So I'll scratch the movie remark off the record. But
yeah, okay. Okay.
Dialogue, camera, action, actors, lighting.
The category is worst moment, Jade. Come on, like
yeah, and that all contributes to making it the worst moment of my life.
what was it?
do you have a worst moment in the movie?
Just every time that they start infighting again for the stupidest shit, it just pisses me off to no end.
Oh,
it's the most annoying back and forth.
It's
ever.
Fair enough.
And they have the audacity to do it every 5 minutes.
It's how teenagers speak to each other, Jen. It's called realism. My worst moment in a movie reviewed is Antonio Banderas' death in Dial of Destiny. That was really fucking awkward. You know, the fact that he was there and just.
Oh yes, I do.
You do remember that? I'm surprised. I'm surprised. Like I wouldn't remember it. Oh, I don't know. It's just the least impactful death of all time. Yeah, you know. and he's he's kind of an action adventure star, and he's just there to be cannon fodder for the villain. It sucks. So yeah, that was the worst moment in that film, and in the movie reviewed this year.
Yeah, I totally forgot about it, but very good answer. My worst moment, it's obviously Chris Tucker in The Fifth Element. Just totally ruined the third act of the movie. Like, I don't know, might have knocked it down a point, to be honest.
Are you gonna actually give a worst moment, or are you gonna just avoid it like Jaden? Like, you gotta give a worst moment.
That is I understand. It's not as hyper precise as your moment. I think that's a good enough.
It's a moment. A moment is hyper precise because it's a moment. What do you mean?
A moment. Best. Oh, come on. You know what I mean. Best. Okay. All right. You want a best moment, Fitzy?
Yes.
You want a best moment?
Yes, that's the category, dude.
No, I don't care. I'll defend myself on that. But the eyes wide shut sequence in Labyrinth was pretty bad too. Remember this one?
The dancing, like, hibby-jibby, like, cult kind of thing?
It went into this music video for 2 minutes where they were like, dancing around.
Yeah. That was
pretty awkward.
Pretty bad. I was completely unengaged, but yeah.
I think I said in the review, I like stood up and started walking around the room when that was on because I was like, I can't sit here and watch this. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. All right. Best picture, the biggest award. And it just goes, nothing that crazy. The best, our most favoritist movie we reviewed in 2023.
Yeah, this goes to, I think it was my only 10 of the year. I probably should double check that, but I think it was when I was looking at it. And that goes to Zodiac. Yeah, brilliant. Fantastic. Awesome. Love it.
Yeah. I think it is your only 10 of the year.
Mine goes to Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I think I also gave Zodiac's also a 10 for me, but Eternal Sunshine is just, I like it more. It's better. So, yeah, that's my favorite film of the year.
Yeah, okay. Starting to rank your 10s now. Okay. Same here. My 10 of the year was Whiplash, so therefore...
Ooh.
This is more of like a mathematical question now that I think about it. Whiplash for sure is my favorite movie reviewed this year. What can I say? Super entertaining movie, super interesting movie. It's like has that perfect element of quite a brief movie, very engaging watch. J.K. Simmons was very close to being my best performance, but then at the same time, it's like gets you thinking as well. It has those two things going on. So I love the debates it has, and it cause for us on the show as well. So yeah, definitely Whiplash for me.
I bumped Arrival up to a 10 as well.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I didn't remember.
I did that in the episode. I think I was trying because I scrolled past and I was like, oh shit, did I get
the movie with the floating egg? I remember that.
No, you don't have a right to say anything.
He's a hater. No. I'm surprised Arrival didn't actually come up once in any of these, to be honest. I was close.
Well, I considered Amy for best performance and I considered for score, but then I thought, no, not really.
I considered for score and cinematography,
yeah,
but got beat out.
Could even go best CG, to be honest.
True. I kind of forget it's CG, but like, what else is it? Amy was killer for sure. That's a good point.
Could go best editing. I honestly think so as well. The way that its non-linearity is slapped together.
Oh yeah.
Best question of the week I've given to. We asked a few bangers. We also asked a few shit ones this year.
Thanks,
but
dude.
I think our best question remains: what was the most impossible mission you've completed or accomplished or whatever? I think that's a lot of fun, and I think in terms of obviously reviewing Mission Impossible for it, thematically matches up. So I've selected that.
Yeah, that was a good one. That stood out to me for sure.
My best question is: which director would you choose to survive within the apocalypse? It's just a very solid question, more open-ended than you think, because you can consider like entertainment value instead of just survivability, but it also makes you think about which directors are fit, and that's fun.
Yes.
So yeah, that's a good question.
It is. I had a YouTube video recommended to me just yesterday about Zack Snyder, like Zack Snyder's eating routine and workout routine. And when I saw that, I was like, there you go, like immediately shot up the list there for the apocalypse question. You know what I mean? Like no other directors get videos like that made about them,
He also plays Fortnite for like fucking 4 hours a day, every day. So
does he really?
Yeah.
Dude, if you get a men's fitness video, you can have a pass on Fortnite. Yeah, that's disappointing though, to be honest. My best question of the show. I'm shocked Jaden didn't choose. What is your favorite Pokemon?
Yeah, that was my second. Yeah.
Yeah, I was shocked by that. That was mine just because like the passion that it brought out in us. You know what I mean? And like the endless amount of possibilities was great. But I did also like. I think it was your question, Jade. Or was it Luke's question? I can't remember. Out of a celebrity, the most out of place they've been.
Yeah,
I thought that was a good question.
Mm.
That's a good question too, Luke. So shout out to you. Speaking of Luke and our wonderful guests, best guest episode, the category which we're trying really hard not to make. Choose your favorite friend.
I'm gonna, I've got an answer here, but I'm gonna change mine. I'm gonna say Kills the Flower Moon because you two weren't there.
Damn.
Cheers, bro.
Just to piss you off a bit.
Mine was Cocaine Bear.
Because I was there.
We not who? Yeah, you went there.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Oh yeah. I re-listened to like a few minutes of the episode yesterday, and it was a good time. Luke was talking about the chemicals that make up cocaine and the fact that it has a musk. Not a smell, a musk. So that was a good time. I feel like we perfectly matched the kind of ironic tone that movie required to be analyzed, but we also did, talk about it seriously as well enough. So it was a good kind of balance. And we had 4 people there, and it wasn't chaotic, in a Cocaine Bear episode. So I feel like that was a big achievement.
Yeah, I sort of overlooked that fact, but this year was our first time experimenting with the 4-man format, I think. I don't think we'd ever done that before. But we did it a few times this year.
Parasite.
So Parasite was...
Four
Oh,
man.
yeah. Yeah, you're right. No, you're right.
Kung Fu Hustle was 4-man.
True. No, I'm just totally made that shit up.
American Psycho was 4-man.
My bad.
Yeah.
I'll cut that. Okay, so my favourite also, so I don't have to pick between Andy and Luke, is Cocaine Bear. I also re-listened to a bit of it and I thought it was pretty funny. I'm not going to lie. I don't know if I can say that about my own show, but I thought we were all actually pretty funny in that. That was good. But also shout out actually to Temple of Doom where Fitzy hosted.
Oh, you
where
like
Luke
that,
was
did
there
you?
too.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
I like that. You
Luke
did a
was-
good job on the spot. But now we've got our favourite overall episode of the show.
I almost gave this to Whiplash because, it was a live action episode. We recorded it with the camera and all that, so it was very exciting. In the end, Ahsoka edged it out because it was just 2 hours and 15 minutes of us two just fucking chatting shit about Star Wars, and I don't know, it's fun just getting that off.
I thought it was pretty good too, to be honest.
Yeah. I don't know about the quality of it, but it's just fun to chat shit for 2 hours. About
Oh, yeah, I'm not talking about yeah, exactly. I'm not talking about the quality of it.
Yeah.
I thought the conversation was pretty good. Yeah, I'm proud of that one for sure. Sorry, I keep wanting to transition straight to myself because it's a good transition, but then Liam, sorry, Liam.
Damn, dude.
Sorry.
My favorite episode is not to record, but listening back to this, I found it really funny. It's Leo. Specifically, I found Zach in this episode funny just because he knows the whole time he's has to justify him liking Leo, and it's just very I don't know, it's humorous.
I'm glad you re-listened to it so soon, and I appreciate you liking it. That's actually an oddball choice. That's good. Yeah, it's sort of, episode 150 was a milestone for the camera, for sure. So, that in itself, milestone, I don't want to look past that. But, yeah, it wasn't my favourite, to be honest. My favourite, for very similar reasons to Jaden, but now I am choosing my favourite friend, apparently, because Succession was my favourite episode of the year.
Ooh, okay.
I just thought, basically everything said about Jaden said about Ahsoka just applied to Succession and Liam. But I thought it was a really good conversation. I love talking about Succession. I remember it was only a few days after the finale, so I was still reeling, and I put a lot of thought in. I wrote by far the most notes I've ever written for the show. I put so much thought into my notes, and I was like, I don't think I'd ever wanted an episode to be good so badly, based just on the amount of preparation I did for it. And we jumped on at night, and I thought it was really good. So I was proud of that one. And my dad listened to that one and thought it was good. So he never listens. So
Impress your
Yeah,
dad.
that's yeah, exactly. That's all one wants in life, you know. So yeah, that was probably my favorite episode of the year. But basically, honestly, like there were so many great episodes this year, in my opinion. Like this, to me, this year, looking back, was probably had the collection of the episodes I was most either had the most fun recording or and the most proud of. To be honest, like I really loved all of it. I loved all of the TV show episodes. I loved Ahsoka as well. Loved. I really loved The Last of Us. I know Luke at the time said he thought The Last of Us was our best episode at the time. So I thought that was a really good one, definitely, and loved every time Annie and Luke come on. It's always so much fun, genuinely. So like for anything, all the indies were great. Past Lives was obviously great, as we talked about a bunch. But I don't know. I thought there were a ton of great ones this year, personally. And that's not even saying that all the ones I wasn't there. Every time I'm not there, it's great as well. And there were like more of those this year than ever as well. So I was very happy with that. I was very happy to download a new episode of the show every week and have no idea what the fuck was going to be said, you know? So yes.
Should just ruined your life while you weren't here.
Yeah.
You could have, but
just 3 weeks just doxing and exposing.
God. You're really regretting that now, aren't you?
I'm never going to get that opportunity again.
Probably not, to be honest.
Next time you go away, you can have an AI bot edit the show anyway, so...
Yeah, true. Well, it won't be long before an AI can just be me on the show and you won't even know the difference.
Probably funnier.
Thanks. But yeah, that's it for another year of Cinema Effect. We did it. I always feel like, I know we get to the end, like we've been recording for quite a while, but it's like, I don't know.
This has got to be the longest awards episode, right? I feel like I was looking at the runtime of the other ones and they were short.
This will be close to last year after editing, probably.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it'll probably be a bit longer. Yeah. Yeah, but last year was pretty long. So last year was an hour 40. So,
oh, really? Shit.
Yeah. It was good, though. It was good, in my opinion. My opinion is obviously completely biased in every way. But yeah, that's it. We appreciate everyone for tuning in. Appreciate anyone who tuned in at all, anytime throughout the year. Cinema Effect will return for our 5th season in 2024. When will it stop? Fuck if I know, you know.
When one of us gets cancelled.
Yeah, or one of us, I don't know. What's it going to be? One of us gets cancelled. One of us has a baby.
Yeah. Not going to be me.
As soon as the AI bot edits it, it's gonna forget to cut out one of your N words, and that's gonna be
yes, yeah. That'll actually be it. Technology will bring the downfall of Cinema Effect. Obviously not us. Our bond is too strong, but AI will crumble it in the end. Yeah, for sure. Of course, you know, I want to give an extra special thank you to Liam and Jada for sticking around for another year. I was thinking about this, like I sort of already mentioned a little bit, but when I was scrolling back through all of our episodes, and there were especially just a lot of fun ones this year, recording sessions and just memories associated with the episodes, Andy and Luke, the trips to the cinema, the trips to Melbourne, I think there were at least 2. So it's been a blast, and I don't want to take that for granted. So thank you to you guys for being here every week. Thank you to Luke and Andy for every time they jumped in as a guest star as well, for sure. But yeah, most importantly, thank you to Zencaster. We could not have done it without you. But yeah, any final words before we piece the seed for another year?
Yeah, Liam, what are we reviewing next episode?
Oh shit!
Oh, not Wonka. We're not doing Wonka. I don't know. What are we doing?
I don't know. I just wanted to throw you on the spot.
I thought that was a joke because you said you'd force Wonka into existence as an episode.
We'll decide after and probably post on the Discord.
Yeah.
So yeah, join the Discord. That's a good last word.
Yeah. Such is life. Those are my last words.
That's probably a bit better, but you know. All right. We hope you all have a happy and safe holiday. Thanks again. Take care out there and goodbye.